Hollywood has seen countless faces become legends. But when it comes to the toughest black actors, it's not just about their physique or raw strength, it's about an iron will that sets them apart. These men are like warriors who've shattered every barrier, carving out unforgettable personas step by step. Their stories are journeys soaked in sweat and determination beyond imagination, facing brutal challenges, overcoming physical pain and mental pressure to become icons. There are moments so intense it seemed they might break, but no. They rose stronger, more unshakable than ever. The 23 black men you're about to meet in this video are the ultimate proof of a no-nonsense strength you can't look away from. 23. Sidney Poitier. When a Hollywood legend nearly became a boxer in a bizarre Tennessee showdown. Sidney Poitier wasn't just the first black man to win an Oscar for Best Actor. He was an unyielding icon of American cinema during the brutal era of racial segregation, with a steely face, piercing eyes, and a confident, commanding presence. He took Hollywood by storm with iconic roles in Lilies of the Field, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and In the Heat of the Night. On March 15, 1967, while filming In the Heat of the Night in a small Tennessee town still thick with prejudice, Sidney Poitier found himself in a situation both bizarre and dangerous, standing nearly 6'3", with a sturdy build and regal aura. He was mistaken by a group of locals for a famous black boxer. They didn't know he was an actor. They just saw a tall, stoic black man walking into a bar in a place where disdainful glares lingered in every corner. That evening, after a long day of shooting, he just wanted to unwind, but the air was tense as a tightrope. 3 drunk men stood up, approached him, and started taunting him, demanding he step into the ring. The atmosphere turned icy. Poitier stood, refusing to throw a punch, but his gaze silent. Resolute seemed to make them tremble without lifting a finger. They backed off, intimidated by his sheer presence, like he was a real fighter. Their actions revealed a chilling truth in that town. A black man could be beaten, humiliated, or worse just for stepping into the wrong bar. If not for his imposing frame and commanding aura, Poitier might have been in serious trouble. Few recount this story, but the film crew whispered about that night when Poitier nearly became an unwilling boxer. Behind his calm demeanor was a quiet pain, because even as a Hollywood superstar, celebrated worldwide, he couldn't escape the scornful looks tied to his skin color. 22. Morgan Freeman. A push-up contest that stunned the set and birthed the nickname Mr. Steel. Morgan Freeman is an icon of a commanding voice, steady gaze, and a presence that's lived through countless characters. He's captivated audiences with profound roles in Driving Miss Daisy to The Shawshank Redemption. But behind his gentle demeanor lies a body forged in the military and a steel will that never backs down. On June 22, 1989 in Boston, while filming Glory, a historical epic about black soldiers in the Civil War, Freeman was leading a physically grueling marching scene. The heat was brutal. Everyone was exhausted. Yet Freeman stood tall, his shirt soaked with sweat, his eyes sharp as a blade. During a lunch break, the crew gathered at a park near the Charles River to catch a breather. There, a young supporting actor, curious about Freeman's chiseled frame, threw down a challenge, a push-up contest. It seemed like a joke, but Freeman accepted with a grin. He dropped to the grass and started, 1, 2, 10, 20. When he stopped, the crew was silent. 50 push-ups, non-stop, no shaking, not a single complaint. The challenger was gasping after 30. Freeman stood, dusted his hands, and flashed a faint smile like it was nothing. From that day, he wasn't just Morgan to the crew. They called him Mr. Steel. The nickname spread like wildfire. A legend born on set. From that moment, no one saw him as just an older guy anymore. He was a man of quiet strength, honed by military discipline and an unbreakable spirit. The push-up feat wasn't about the number 50, it was how he turned a silly challenge into an unforgettable moment. 21. Danny Glover. Ambushed by a gang for being too convincing, nearly losing his life in Los Angeles. Danny Glover is a household name, beloved by millions for action-packed hits like Lethal Weapon and Predator 2. He's not just a seasoned actor with real talent, but a passionate activist, admired for his intensity in both career and life. Yet one day, his uncanny ability to embody a role nearly cost him everything. On the afternoon of August 10, 1990 in downtown Los Angeles, As the Predator 2 crew took a break from a tense scene, Glover stepped away from the secure set, walking into a nearby alley for some fresh air. He was still in costume as Mike Harrigan, a stubborn, hot-headed cop, unafraid to take on anyone. But his too realistic portrayal threw him into an unexpected crisis. 4 tough-looking young men appeared, blocking the narrow alley. They didn't recognize him as an actor. To them, Glover was just another cop who'd messed with their people earlier. They closed in, ready to settle a score. But in that heart-pounding moment, Glover didn't run. His sturdy frame, shaped by his days as a college football player, stood firm, yet he chose not to fight back. He locked eyes with them, dodging swings while calmly explaining he was just filming a movie. When one guy nearly landed a punch, Glover blocked it with a hand hard as stone and let out a growl. Just then, crew members found him and stopped the attackers. No one could believe an actor stood his ground like that. Back on set, Glover laughed it off as a funny anecdote, but the humor didn't reach his eyes. That story became a stark reminder for him that the line between a role and real life can be razor thin, sometimes deadly. 20. Eddie Murphy, running so fast he outpaced the camera car, freaking out the Beverly Hills cop crew. Eddie Murphy was once dubbed Hollywood's laughter machine, but he's more than a comedian. Stepping into the lead role in Beverly Hills Cop, Murphy proved he wasn't just funny, he was a cinematic force. With natural talent and explosive energy, he became one of the 80s most powerful stars. On the morning of May 7, 1984, under a scorching sun in central Beverly Hills, the crew was filming a high-stakes chase scene on Rodeo Drive, one of America's priciest streets. Eddie Murphy, just 23 and brimming with energy, decided to run the scene himself. No stunt double needed. He didn't ask for any extra help. When the cameras rolled, he took off like a bullet. No one saw what came next. Eddie ran too fast, so fast he outran the camera car trailing him. The equipment couldn't keep up, the sound went off sync, and the director, in a panic, halted the shoot. Over the loudspeaker, he shouted in confusion while the crew stood stunned. They couldn't wrap their heads around it. A comedian had just outrun high-speed filming gear in the middle of a crowded street. Not a gym rat or a trained sprinter. Murphy just had natural agility and the fiery spirit of his early 20s. His feet barely touched the ground. Sweat poured, his heart pounded. The director yelled himself hoarse. But Murphy didn't stop. Caught up in his character, he blurred the line between film and reality. That unscripted take, chaotic as it was, made it into the movie too raw, too wild, too Eddie Murphy. 19. Samuel L. Jackson. So intense in his role he scared a co-star off the set in the dead of night. Samuel L. Jackson isn't just an actor. He's a phenomenon. A symbol of power, rage, and unmistakable charisma, from Jungle Fever to Die Hard. He never plays a supporting role even when the script says so, but it was Pulp Fiction that made him explode like a bomb in Hollywood's heart. On the night of September 19, 1994, in an old Hollywood warehouse, the Pulp Fiction set was holding its breath. A tense scene was unfolding between Jackson and a supporting actor. Jackson, then in his 40s and no rookie, stepped into Jules Winfield with a menacing look, a voice like steel, and eyes that could cut glass. But this time, he went too real, too terrifying. Before anyone could process it, his co-star, a young actor not used to such raw intensity, bolted mid-scene, sprinting out the door and vanishing into the dark street. The crew froze, half thought they were in a horror movie, half thought a real fight had broken out. Jackson stood there, stunned, having only been rehearsing lines as the crew prepped the shot. Seconds later, he snapped out of it and raced after the panicked actor, under dim streetlights. Jackson switched to his real voice, not Jules', to calm him down. It took minutes to convince him to return. After that night, no one dared mess with Jackson when he was in character. It wasn't acting anymore, it was possession. Every time he locked eyes with someone on set, the air seemed to freeze. 18. Denzel Washington nearly broke his shoulder for a role, still risked it all in a South Central action scene. Denzel Washington is an A-list titan, a name that makes Hollywood pause whenever he steps up, with 2 Oscars and dozens of iconic roles, from heroes to villains. Denzel turns everything into an earthquake, but Training Day redefined it all. His role as Alonzo Harris, a corrupt, reckless, and dangerous cop, pushed him into real danger, both on-screen and off. On February 12, 2001, at Gold's Gym in Central Hollywood, Denzel Washington, then deep in intense training, decided to lift a heavier weight than usual. He wanted his character to intimidate not just with words, but with his eyes, his walk, his muscles. But one wrong lift when his body was already maxed out caused a serious shoulder injury. The gym went silent as he dropped to his knees, sweat pouring, face pale with pain. He should have rested, but no. The next morning, in the freezing cold of South Central, he showed up, wearing a heavy coat to hide the thick bandages on his shoulder. Only a few crew members noticed his eyes redden every time he moved his right arm. That day's action scene ran for over 5 hours. Washington threw himself into cars, tackled co-stars, swung a gun, and rolled onto the pavement, all with a shoulder that could barely move. Every twist was a stab of pain, but he gritted his teeth and pushed through. Not a single complaint. After the shoot, he was rushed to a treatment room. The shoulder injury forced him into physical therapy for years, but that role won him an Oscar, a victory earned in blood. No one doubted Denzel Washington's strength after that, on screen or in life. He's a true warrior. 17. Laurence Fishburne nearly fell 30 feet as Morpheus, leaving the entire Matrix set in shock. Laurence Fishburne is an icon. His name is tied to heavyweight roles, from war and crime to philosophical figures, but nothing shook the world like his Morpheus in The Matrix, with a cool demeanor, chiseled physique, and eyes radiating authority. Fishburne made Morpheus an irreplaceable figure. Few know that to create those legendary moments on screen. He came within inches of losing his life in Australia. On April 30th, 1999, at a Sydney warehouse set for The Matrix, Fishburne was prepping for a scene requiring him to leap from a platform over 30 feet high, surrounded only by a green screen and a harness system. He could have used a stunt double, but no. He wanted to deliver the realest footage possible. That afternoon, winds from Sydney's harbor kicked up, whistling through the warehouse's gaps like they meant to tear it down. When it was his turn to jump, the platform started shaking hard. Many in the crew were on edge, barely breathing. But Fishburne's face didn't waver, his body tensed, harness secured, as the wind grew fiercer. When he launched off the platform, a sudden gust slammed him sideways. Time froze for a few seconds, even in chaos. He didn't scream or flail. His hands clamped onto the harness ropes. His feet instinctively grazed the platform's edge. A half-second slower, and he could have plummeted, even with safety gear. The concrete floor below sent chills through the crew, who screamed in horror. When Fishburne was pulled to safety, everyone exhaled. From that moment, he was Morpheus, a man who could face death without flinching. After the incident, many risky scenes were scaled back, but Fishburne insisted on pushing forward. To him, Morpheus wasn't just a role, it was strength, belief, and grit at the edge of reality and illusion. 16. Wesley Snipes snapped a sword on the Blade set, nearly taking out a crew member. Wesley Snipes isn't just an actor, he's action, speed, and power incarnate. With the Blade series, Snipes turned a comic book character into a cultural icon. His body seems carved from steel, martial arts are in his blood, and when he steps into a role, nothing can stop him. On July 14, 1998, the Blade set was in an old Los Angeles warehouse. No lush green screens or fancy CGI, just sweat, steel, and real fights. That day, Snipes was filming a solo scene, facing off against a vampire in the dark. No stunt double, no wires, just him, a metal prop sword, and months of intense martial arts training. Everything was on track until Snipes executed a lightning-fast spin. The force of his swing was so intense the alloy prop sword bent, then snapped in half. The metal's crack echoed like a gunshot. A shard flew straight toward the camera crew, slicing through the air like a razor. The set froze for seconds. A lighting assistant narrowly escaped a piece of the blade embedding in his leg. The action coordinator panicked. Cameras shut off instantly. Everyone thought disaster had struck. Snipes stood there, breathing hard, veins bulging, sweat dripping, unsure if he'd just caused a catastrophe. Then he relaxed, raising a hand in apology when he saw no one was hurt. He admitted he got too into the vampire hunter vibe. No one blamed him. Instead, the crew burst out laughing. From that moment, they didn't see Snipes as just an actor. He was Blade, a man who could break metal itself. 15. Whitaker sacrificed his health for Idi Amin. nearly collapsing on a London set. Forrest Whitaker isn't your average actor. He's a symbol of transformation and boundless dedication. His portrayal of Idi Amin in The Last King of Scotland captivated the world, bringing Uganda's dictator to life with undeniable weight, from physique to psyche. He did everything to make the role vivid and ferocious. On January 25, 2006, at a set on London's outskirts, Whitaker was battling his own body, not from weakness or illness, but because he'd pushed himself to brutal limits to mirror Idi Amin, bulky, imposing, radiating menace. He'd gained weight rapidly, sticking to a grueling diet that left his body strained. Everyone could see it in his eyes. This wasn't just acting. During a key speech scene, channeling the dictator's evil, madness, and power, his body betrayed him. A wave of dizziness hit so hard he nearly collapsed on set. Everything paused as the crew rushed to help. Whitaker stepped back, needing 2 hours to recover, catch his breath, and ease the overwhelming stress he'd put on himself. The months that followed weren't easy. He had to rebuild his health bit by bit to avoid lasting damage, but the pain and sacrifice paid off. His Idi Amin role won him the Best Actor Oscar, cementing him as an acting titan that Hollywood respects. Not everyone would risk so much for a role. Whitaker did and triumphed. His grueling ordeal on that London set proves that behind the Oscars' shine is a real battle with himself, a year-long war few ever see. 14. Don Cheadle, trapped in War Machine armor, narrowly escaping death on the Iron Man 2 set. Don Cheadle is a symbol of strength and resilience in the superhero world. As War Machine in Iron Man 2, Cheadle donned a heavy suit, becoming an emblem of power and grit, from screen to reality. He proved he's not just a stand-in, but a true warrior. On March 8, 2010, on an Atlanta set, everything seemed routine until disaster struck. Cheadle was in the 45-pound War Machine armor, prepping for an action scene demanding precision and endurance. Then, a small glitch in the suit's locking mechanism turned deadly. The lock jammed, trapping him inside. His muscles strained, air felt scarce, and the thick armor became a steel cage. Those moments were pure tension. You can imagine the fear of a powerhouse like Don Cheadle stuck, each breath a struggle. But he didn't let panic win, with sheer strength and calm. Cheadle somehow dismantled part of the suit in 3 minutes while waiting for technicians to bring tools. If he hadn't acted fast, it could have been catastrophic. A star fighting for survival on set isn't something you forget. The incident shocked the crew and earned Cheadle a new nickname, Real-Life War Machine. It highlighted the real dangers in action scenes and showcased Cheadle's professionalism and lightning-fast instincts. After that, the crew triple-checked every suit detail to keep actors safe. 13. Cuba Gooding Jr., the most painful victory of his career on the Men of Honor set. Cuba Gooding Jr. isn't just a Hollywood star with top-tier roles. He's a symbol of dedication and extraordinary stamina. As a Navy diver in Men of Honor, Gooding Jr. showed off a chiseled physique, ready to tackle any challenge. His stellar performance and commitment made him a standout on the big screen. But there's one story about him not everyone knows. On June 17, 2000, on the Men of Honor set in San Diego, the sun blazed like fire. Gooding Jr., then 32, didn't just play a diver, he went all in, diving into a man-made lake by the set to race stunt performers in a 100-meter swim. The crew thought it was just fun, but it turned into a life-or-death showdown. Cuba launched himself like a pro racer, his speed and power relentless. The scorching sun didn't slow him. He sliced through the water, passing rivals with stunning ease. He hit the finish line first to roaring cheers. Everyone expected a big celebration, but fate took a sharp turn. As he stepped onto the shore, a brutal cramp hit. His muscles locked, the pain so intense he couldn't stand. Crew members rushed to pull him up, supporting him as he hobbled. Seeing a ripped movie star writhing from a cramp shocked everyone, but Gooding Jr. laughed it off, calling it his most painful victory. The mix of epic effort and the price he paid stuck with everyone. It's not just about physical strength, it's proof of an actor's boundless commitment. 12. Will Smith smashed a punching bag in training, awakening raw power for a legendary role. Will Smith is a towering name in Hollywood, a symbol of grit and drive, from rapper to actor. He conquered the industry with blockbuster roles, peaking when he became boxing legend Muhammad Ali to match a fighter's physique and power. Will dove into brutal training, turning sweat into deadly punches on screen. On September 9, 2001, at a Philadelphia gym where Will trained relentlessly for Ali, he made history in a quiet morning session. While hammering a punching bag, Will unleashed everything. His punch hit like a storm, and suddenly, the bag split open, sand and dust exploding across the gym like a tornado had struck. The trainer gawked, unable to believe his eyes. He warned Will to rein in his power. "You can't just go all out like that." But in that moment, Will tapped into something primal. It wasn't just a punch, it was a symbol of his resolve and passion, showing he'd break his own limits to live the role of a legend. The wrecked bag incident became a turning point, fueling his confidence and focus in every punch and move in the film. Day by day, he became more like Muhammad Ali, not just in body but in fighting spirit. 11. Jamie Foxx. A terrifying horsefall on set haunted him for years. Jamie Foxx, a versatile talent with a chiseled frame and a stellar reputation, left a huge mark on Hollywood, from action to deep roles. Foxx never shies from a challenge to deliver raw authenticity. On May 23, 2012, at a New Orleans ranch, while filming Django Unchained, Foxx decided to ride a horse across a wide field himself. The poetic scene turned into a nightmare. A sudden prop gunshot spooked the horse, sending it into a wild gallop before bucking Foxx off. The fall could have been catastrophic, but his strong build and fighter's instincts let him cling to the saddle, avoiding serious injury. That moment left a deep fear, shaking his confidence in doing his own stunts for years. It wasn't just an accident, it was a wake-up call for a star willing to risk it all but needing to know when to draw the line. 10. Chris Tucker outran the cameras, throwing the Rush Hour set into chaos. Chris Tucker, a blockbuster comedian and actor with quick wit and agility, made waves in Rush Hour. But his talent and energy go beyond laughs. He's got serious speed. On November 11, 1998, in Hong Kong's Tsim Sha Tsui, on the Rush Hour set, Tucker wanted to show off his nimble frame with a playful stunt. He challenged Jackie Chan in a chase scene, betting he could outrun him. That night, on a packed street, Tucker took off, leaving Chan in the dust. The cameras couldn't keep up with his speed. The shoot stopped, the director yelling for Tucker to slow down. Tucker laughed, calling it his Usain Bolt moment. No one expected a chase to cause such chaos, forcing the crew to adjust camera speeds. That sprint stunned everyone and revealed a new side of Chris Tucker, a star with legs as fast as his mouth. 9. Idris Elba. A heart-stopping moment on a high platform shocked the entire crew. Idris Elba, famed for his chiseled physique and roles like Heimdall in Thor, pushes his physical limits to fully embody characters. His strength and focus earn universal respect. On April 20, 2011, at a London studio, Elba stood on an 8-meter platform for a fight scene when a fierce wind from the Thames swept through. The platform shook violently, with only 2 waist straps securing him. The crew watched in panic, but Elba stayed steady, not wavering for a second despite the chaos. His incredible strength and iron resolve held him firm. That tense moment became a legend in interviews, proof of his unshakable professionalism. 8. Terrence Howard. A painful injury traded for a role in Iron Man. Terrence Howard, known for his fit frame and raw acting, was the first to play Rhodey in Iron Man. His success seemed set to soar, but a brutal shock changed everything. On February 14, 2008, at a Hollywood studio, Howard pushed himself to prove his worth by lifting a heavy metal prop in an action scene. Things went smoothly until his body gave out. A sharp jerk dislocated his shoulder on set. In agony, he was rushed to Cedars-Sinai Hospital and sidelined for a month. The injury wasn't just physical, it crushed his spirit. Unable to continue the role in sequels, Howard carried deep regret. That one moment of overexertion cost him a golden role and altered his career's path. Who'd have thought a split second could change a life? 7. Chris Rock. A blazing jacket moment exploded on the Lethal Weapon 4 set. Chris Rock, a comedy legend with a lean frame and undeniable talent, starred in the action-packed Lethal Weapon 4, Beyond Laughs. He proved he could handle danger on set. On July 29, 1998, at a Hollywood studio, Rock was filming a thrilling scene, running through a dangerous prop fire. He nailed it with flawless speed and precision, but after the cameras stopped, they noticed his jacket was scorched. Half the back burned off, as if his hot presence drew the flames. The crew laughed, but they knew a misstep could have been disastrous. That burning jacket moment became a symbol of Rock's bold, explosive energy, a star who dives in despite the risks lurking nearby. 6. Michael Jai White, a muscle-bound martial artist, broke props, nearly injuring the director on the Spawn set. Michael Jai White, an actor and black belt martial artist with a ripped physique, left a huge mark in Spawn. He's not just a performer, he's a real warrior on set. On August 3, 1997, in a Hollywood warehouse, White was filming a high-speed fight for Spawn. He launched into the scene, his kick so powerful it shattered a metal prop. A fragment flew, nearly hitting the director's face, leaving him sweating bullets. The set froze, stunned and scared. White quickly apologized, joking he was too deep into Spawn mode, his real strength spilling over. The terrifying yet funny moment left everyone in awe of his power and dedication. It became a set legend, proof of White's intensity for a role not meant for the faint-hearted. 5. Ving Rhames. A terrifying strength turned the Con Air set into an accident scene. Ving Rhames, a towering figure in action with a massive build and unyielding presence, cemented his status with gritty, muscular roles. He's deadly serious about every scene. On June 12, 1997, at an abandoned Las Vegas airport, Rhames was filming a fight in a tight airplane set for Con Air. His raw power collapsed part of the set, debris crashing everywhere. A crew member got a minor hand injury in the chaos, but Rhames didn't run, he rushed to help the injured person from the wreckage. Guilt clear in his eyes. From then on, he vowed to be more careful, not letting his strength cause harm again. The incident stuck with everyone, a reminder that Rhames's power is both a gift and a heavy responsibility, sometimes too wild to control. 4. LL Cool J, a shocking weightlifting contest on the SWAT set. LL Cool J, a rap superstar and action actor with a jaw-dropping physique, made waves in roles brimming with strength and charisma. From music to movies, he's a versatile force. On August 19, 2003, at a Hollywood gym on the SWAT set, LL Cool J challenged stunt performers to a weightlifting contest. While others struggled with 220 pounds, he effortlessly hoisted 265 pounds without breaking a sweat. The crew was floored by his strength, but few knew the grueling, sweat-soaked training and pain behind that physique. He'd pushed his body to the limit, enduring muscle-straining agony to dominate on set. LL Cool J's strength wasn't just natural, it was forged through relentless effort, making him a true muscle-bound legend. 3. Michael B. Jordan. A ring injury on Creed stunned the crew. Michael B. Jordan, a rising star known for powerful roles, shone in Creed as a boxer with a formidable physique. His strength and skill earned praise, making him a modern action legend. But not every scene went smoothly. On November 5, 2015, at a Philadelphia boxing ring, during a Creed fight scene with a pro boxer, Jordan faced a terrifying moment. In a heated exchange, he took a real punch to the face. Everyone thought he'd go down, but his strength and balance kept him upright. Continuing the scene like nothing happened, the crew was stunned by his resilience. After the shoot, he needed medical checks for swelling, but Jordan stayed proud, refusing to let the hit break him. 2. Chadwick Boseman nearly died on the Black Panther set, revealing the strength and tragedy behind his iconic role. Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther's star, was known for his muscular build, unyielding spirit, and transformative acting. He left a mark not just with talent, but with a will to conquer any challenge, even a real-life battle. On March 10, 2018, at an Atlanta studio, while filming a leap from a man-made cliff, Boseman faced a life-or-death moment. On a wet morning, his foot slipped, nearly sending him into a deep crevice below. Despite safety ropes, a hard impact could have been deadly. His strength and quick reflexes let him grab the harness, narrowly escaping disaster. The crew's hearts stopped, and the moment woke Boseman to life's fragility, a haunting foreshadowing of his silent cancer battle. It fueled his drive to give more, embodying T'Challa's strength on screen and in his grueling real-life fight. 1. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II became a real-life merman on the Aquaman set, with strength beyond limits. Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, a standout as Black Manta in Aquaman. Wowed with his acting and jaw-dropping physique, his raw power stopped the set in its tracks, making underwater scenes electrifying. On October 22, 2018 at Australia's Gold Coast, filming in a massive water tank, Yahya wore a 33-pound suit yet swam like it was nothing. That afternoon, he surged like a tidal wave, outpacing the underwater cameras. The crew scrambled to keep up with his lightning-fast moves. When he saw the playback, he joked he'd become a real merman, leaving everyone stunned and impressed. He shattered physical limits to bring his role to life, a key reason for his breakout success. These 23 Black actors are Hollywood's toughest, not just in muscle, but in unmeasurable mental grit. Who impressed you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos, where I'll keep bringing stories you won't find anywhere else.